I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay at home, Disney Dad.
The Wonderful World of Disney and Whitney Houston presents Rodgers Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Brandi, Jason Alexander, of course, Whoopi Goldberg, Whitney Houston, and Bernadette Peters. I cannot press play fast enough. I'm so intrigued. Mulan trailer, that's encouraging. They think if you like this movie, you will also like Mulan. Well, I liked Mulan, so Kirstie Alley in Toothless? What? Peter Pan coming to video in 1998, digitally restored, and now with 8% more body shaming and racism. Ad for The Little Mermaid. I know I placed Little Mermaid in 3rd in my top 4 90s Renaissance masterpieces behind Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, but I'll be honest, few songs in general, Disney or not, put me in a completely different headspace like Part of Your World. Really listen to that song sometime. It is next level when it comes to manipulating emotions. Coming soon on The Wonderful World of Disney. Tony Danza straps on the pads, then Alyssa Milano stars in Gold Rush. This is a CBC ad on a Disney tape. I will never get used to that marriage. Still so bizarre to me. Feature presentation. Wow, we start with Whitney Houston in an awkward gold dress. Hard to describe what I'm seeing. It's like the superimposed Whit's head on a completely different body. Okay, we start in a little town. This looks like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. Completely the same vibe. We see the Nasty Sisters and Cinderella toddling behind them, carrying all their packages. There's like a little puppet play, like in the beginning, a Hunchback. I wonder if there's going to be callbacks constantly. The sisters ask Cinderella who looks better in a particular hat, and Branderella says, I don't know much about hats, but they both look ugly in it. Oh, there's a future beating. From there, Brandi spikes the camera and starts singing. The sisters continue shopping, and we meet who I assume is the prince, who is already walking around the marketplace. He's already mid-song. Eventually, their songs line up and become a duet. Brandi drops her packages, and the prince helps her clean them up. He asks her name, and she says Cinderella, because she likes to sit by the fire and the cinders fly in her face and get smudged. Is that true? Is that the history that... He beats around the bush and wants to ask her out. I'm not really sure what's happening because she's cold to him now, but they bond over how much they both hate their lives, and that's relatable. I know the prince's lingering looks are supposed to be like dreamy and romantic, but they play out kind of creepy here. Next time you end a conversation with someone, walk away without ever breaking eye contact with them. Terrifying. Yeah, that was the prince. Like Jasmine, he sneaks out into the town in street clothes because he hates being royalty, and his lackey is Jason Alexander. Good. Honest to God, this has got to be the 8th Disney movie I've reviewed already, starring him or just his voice. I don't get it. I got nothing against the man. I don't. I just can't imagine why Disney keeps paying Seinfeld money to bring him in to play all these secondary characters. Was he like bad with his money? I don't know. It's weird. Whoopi is the prince's queen mom, and she and the king tell him it's time to choose a bride, but he has this crazy, silly idea that he wants to be in love when he gets married. Then he just bounces, and Whoopi tells George Costanza to go make a proclamation that the prince is throwing a ball because he wants to find a bride. Jason Alexander sings, and I'm gonna pretend he doesn't. The way Jason Alexander dances up and down the streets reminds me of his old McDLT commercial, and I want to make a cold on one side, hot on the other side joke about this movie, but I don't have the energy, and I know the PG buzzer is gonna get me, and I can't do it today. Back at Cinderella's house, the stepmother and daughter stare at her until she opens the door for them. To be fair, they all had their hands full of packages. They start bossing her around, but it's not as like slavey as the cartoon, so that's good. Brandiella asks if she can go to the ball to meet the prince, and the stepmother makes fun of her and humiliates her, which we all know causes one to turn away and break into song. Which is what she does. She walks into the kitchen and there's a roaring fire. Has that been going this whole time? They were out shopping all day and the fire's going? That's pretty dangerous. For whatever reason, the bass guitar is just pounding through this song in a way I've never heard in another Disney VHS. Like, it has its own audio track. Like, the regular movie's on the right channel and the bass is just on the left channel. amazing. Cinderella sings about the fantasy world she goes to when she needs to escape the hell that is her life, and she references the Little Mermaid. And okay, we got a Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Hunchback, and now a mermaid reference. Just waiting on that Lion King one, and we all will be right in the world. The prince is mad at his mom for setting up this ball for him. He's ungrateful for the parade of gorgeous women his mom is making happen. He agrees to go to the ball, but says if he doesn't fall in love that night, he gets to do it his way, no matter how long it takes. Evil stepmother back in the other place is getting her daughters ready for the ball. One daughter laughs like a horse, and the other gets itchy when she's nervous. That's good to know. Cinderella has her scenario where the prince falls in love with her, and her stepmother says, "This isn't about love," and breaks into the song, "Falling in love with love is make-believe," and that's kind of funny. The stepsisters take off, leaving her alone, so Cinderella prays about the ball, and Whitney appears as the fairy godmother. They sassy banter back and forth, and Whitney breaks into song. I don't know about the relationship in real life between these two, but it must have been bizarre, neat, exciting for Brandi to be working this close with Whitney Houston, right? They go outside, and Whitney turns the pumpkin into the carriage, and Brandi says, "Oh my goodness!" Talking animals are not in this live version. Whitney does her magic, the pumpkin turns into a carriage, and Cinderella gets her blue dress, and I recognize I am definitely not the target audience for this movie, but the special effects are blowing my daughter's mind. I'm watching her watch this, and this is what Disney is about. This movie has been a great reminder of that, because despite all the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride this review has taken me on over the last 2 years, these fairy tale movies were made to make children dream, and that is exactly what's happening in my basement right now. This is, I don't know, like one of those bizarre musicals no one's ever heard of. Like they had cash in some account Disney needed to spend, and like this much had to go to talent, and this much had to go to special effects, that kind of thing. And some producer, some wonderful, lucky producer had free range to put together a cast of actors and actresses based on personal taste, and I can't say the idea of that makes me like this movie any less. It makes me like it more, is what I was trying to say at the end of that. At the dance, the bored prince dances with all these beauties, and like when I watched the original Cinderella, I wish upon my own star that one day someone will make a remake where the prince is actually gay, because those are the amazing vibes this character inadvertently gives off in every version I've seen so far. I mean, I know the idea of the prince that could have any woman all day, every day, but instead waits and chooses true love based on that connection is the whole deal with Cinderella. But, you know, let's be honest. He gives off wonderful gay vibes, and I'm all for someone doing a reboot and running with that idea. Cinderella makes her entrance, and Prince loses his shit. They dance, and it's beautiful, and I love watching my daughter watch this movie. Yes, we were watching Brandi and some guy and Whoopi doing a half-hearted remake of a questionable classic, but this is just enough to nudge my memory back to actually being at Disney World, there with my family, standing in front of the castle at night, watching the fireworks, and feeling like the absolute best version of me, and everyone in that moment is loud, yet silent, and busy but calm, complex, but absolutely f***ing perfect, if only for those 5 incredible minutes. Anyway, they dance and sing. The girls and the king and the queen want to know who this new girl is. The mean sisters sing a song about why do guys fall in love with beautiful girls, and why can't one ever fall for a quirky girl like them? And I don't think that was an original song from the old cartoon, but you know, they aren't wrong. Who's the protagonists and antagonists again? This seems like we're going in an opposite direction now. In the courtyard, Prince wants to take this to the next level, and he gets down on one knee. The kid's teeth, the prince's teeth, are just too perfect. It's distracting. Instead of asking her to marry him, he breaks into song. They stop singing and agree they never want this night to end. Then they resume singing. The song finally ends. They kiss and bong bong. The clock strikes 12. The clock strikes 12. The clock strikes. What was I saying? The magic wears off, and she turns back into poor Brandi, leaving the prince standing there confused, singing on the staircase. He finds the lost glass slipper, and back at the other castle, the sisters have no idea that poor Brandi, without blue eyeshadow and her hair done differently, was the same girl with blue eyeshadow and a different hairdo that was just dancing with the prince like an hour ago. It gets real between stepmom and Brandi, and she tells Brandi that she's poor and dumb and no prince would ever want her. People are searching everywhere for the girl with the one glass shoe, and the prince won't settle. I want a song about the ugly sisters cutting their own toes off with a knife to get their feet to fit into that small glass slipper. Whoopi is singing. This is fun. She sings the song. Is she really as wonderful as she seems? There's the first dance wedding song if I've ever heard one. The prince is gonna go on tour trying the glass slipper on every girl in the kingdom. Montage of Jason Alexander trying the glass slipper on every girl in the kingdom. They get to the stepmom's mean kids, and nope. It doesn't fit, and nope, they don't try to cut their toes off in this version. Like, did you even really want it if you weren't prepared to cut off your own toes? Come on, it fits the stepmom, which is kind of funny. I don't remember that. The prince is like, yes, those were the rules. But no. Prince says, are you certain there's no one else here? And all three stand up and block a door. That's funny. He asks, what's behind the door? He opens the door and it's Brandi. Now I think he remembers her from the beginning of the movie, but not as the dancer from the ball, but then he kind of puts it together and then he puts a slipper on her and it fits. I mean, the idea that the slipper only fits one woman is stupid, yeah, but it makes a wonderful fairy tale. I'm not sure if I'm just in like an absolutely blindingly great mood today or what's going on, but I am enjoying this movie probably more than I should. My daughter is glued to the TV. I'm glued to my daughter watching the TV. They're married. Whitney is singing. Fun fact, Whitney died the day my best friend got married. So any mention of Whitney puts me back to that happy, sad day. Regardless, Whitney's sparkly dress is ruining my VCR. The frame rate has no idea what to do with it. Big Whitney song to end the movie. This was surprisingly Disney Gold.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.